Hello guys, my name is Zachary and I'm going to teach you guys how to use the Skyrim Creation Kit today. Just finishing up getting Deus Ex ready to download later. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into, to get started, we're going to go into our Steam tools list, and then we're going to go to library and then tools, and then we're going to go to Creation Kit. And if you don't have it installed, install it. It's a pretty simple process. I don't think I need to walk you through how to do that. Go ahead and install it and open it up. You should start with a view that looks pretty similar to this. For this tutorial, I'm actually just going to teach you guys how to create a mod that I've posted on the Steam Workshop. It's called the Better Arrows mod. It's a work in progress, but as of this moment, it adds all the arrow types to the crafting list for at the smithing, and it also adds a new arrow called a Skyforge steel arrow to the Skyforge smelter. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started teaching you guys how to use the creation kit. I'm going to assume no knowledge on the creation kit, so I'll be being pretty basic here. What we're actually going to do in this tutorial, we're not going to make any dungeons or anything like that. We're actually just going to create a new crafting recipe and change some stats on an arrow, maybe create a new arrow. We'll see what time allows. So go ahead and go to File and then Data, and double click Skyrim.esm and press OK. And it'll take a while to load the files up here. While we're waiting for that, actually probably just gonna. Okay, so you're gonna see most likely maybe my install is just corrupted, but for the most part you're probably gonna see a window like this pop up. Just go ahead and click yes to all, and then it'll continue loading. And still waiting. This is the most enjoyable part of creating a mod. Still waiting. How about that weather? Ooh. So the first thing that we're actually going to do before we touch anything in the editor is we're actually just going to click the little save icon here, and we're going to go into Skyrim and Data. It should automatically load up this folder for you. And we're just going to go ahead and save this as Crafting Tutorial 1. I already have this because I've made this tutorial before and it didn't go well, so we're just going to go ahead and start over. So now that we've done that, that's created our plugin file, and it's also activated it here, so that when we go into our Skyrim launcher, we can eventually, when it pops up, we can see that, there you go, Crafting Tutorial 1 is active. So that's our save file. Be aware that there is no Save As button, so once you load up a plugin, if you want to change your plugin, you actually have to restart the editor, or rather reload all your data by unchecking everything that you want and then starting over. So that's not really the most efficient thing in the world, but it's okay, we're just going to roll with it. So what we're going to do here is actually pretty much everything we're going to be doing is going to be working exclusively in the objects window. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into items in the objects window, and then we're going to filter ARROW, or arrows, and basically it's just going to bring up everything in the objects window that has to do with an arrow. We can actually narrow this down by clicking ammo, and then we get all these arrows. We have our steel arrow, excuse me, our steel arrow, our orcish arrow. This is, well, not exactly sure what that is. You know, we got lots of good stuff here. So what we're actually going to do is, because there's no actual crafting recipe for any of these arrows, because as you see, if we go into the constructible objects section with our arrows filter intact, there's no recipes for it. So what we're actually going to do is, for all this ammo here, we're going to create a new recipe. So right click new, and then after a fair amount of time it'll pop up, and we're going to call this recipe arrow iron. And under created object, we're going to put in our object that we wanted to make. That's going to be iron arrow. And then under created object count, we want to, let's do 15 per batch. And then for our workbench keyword, we're going to do crafting, smithing, forge. So that allows us to make these items at the forge. And then under required items list, we're going to right click new. We're going to add 2 required items. I'm going to add an ingot iron. And then I'm also going to add a leather strips, and then I'm going to make it cost 2. The reason I do leather strips in this tutorial as opposed to firewood, like my actual mod, is because I don't actually have firewood on my current save. So in the essence of time, I'm just making it something that I have. So now here we go. We have our iron arrow recipe, and this recipe will actually work. That's complete. So if we were to actually load up, we save our if we save our plugin right here, and we were to load up Skyrim, I'm just going to go ahead and change our anti-aliasing to 0 for the tutorial, because I'm not sure how my computer is going to react to Skyrim and recording at the same time. So that's just a little precaution there. Okay, so now we're in game. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and run down here. Whee! Took a little dive there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know what, actually it would be faster to just go ahead and fast travel the Whiterun. And then that should load pretty quick. There we go. No, you don't. You don't know me. Okay, so now we can go to our blacksmith forge, and as you can see, we have a new tab here, miscellaneous, and it's iron arrows. And it appears I don't have leather strips or iron ingots, but just take my word for it that if you were to click that and then click yes, you would get 15 iron arrows in your inventory. So that just about covers that. We can go ahead and we can go ahead and quit here. So what if we wanted to create another recipe for a steel arrow that required you to have the steel smithing perk? Well, it's pretty simple. It's almost exactly the same process. All you really need to do is just open up your iron arrow recipe, change the iron on the end to steel, change the ingot to a ingot steel, and change it to arrow steel, or iron, or actually be steel arrow. And everything else stays the same. And what we're actually going to do is under match conditions, these are the conditions under which you will or will not be able to craft the item. So we're going to click new under match conditions, and then we're going to change the has condition or condition function to has perk, and then on this little invalid thing we're going to click that, and then we're going to type in steel smithing. So there we go. So that means that you can now you can only smith the iron or the steel arrow recipe if you have the steel smithing perk. Then when you click OK, it's going to ask you if you want to overwrite your current iron arrow one, renaming it and changing all the properties, or if you want to create a new one from the current section. For this case, we want to create a new one. So there we go, we get a new recipe arrow steel. And then if we were to go in game, because I have the steel smithing perk, we'll see our steel arrows in our smithing list.
Wait, I know you.
That's a nice little mistake there. You run into that when you're being hasty. And you cannot save plugin files while the game is open because it will give you that error. So, close Skyrim. Then, no, cancel. No. Yes. Okay, so we're actually just going to go ahead and resave. Now, for some reason, it wants me to close dialog boxes, so we're actually just going to save that there. Okay, so I'm sure you guys understand. So there's that. How about for actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and call that the end of part 1, and then we'll move on to part 2. We're actually going to create a completely new arrow, and then we're going to do something special with it. So tune in next time. Thanks for watching.